The Forgotten Island. The storm had come out of nowhere. One minute, Captain Jake Morgan was navigating his ship, the Silver Serpent, through calm, turquoise waters. The next, he was fighting to keep it from capsizing. The waves crashed with fury, and the wind howled like 1,000 angry spirits. The crew fought valiantly, but the sea was relentless. When the storm finally subsided, Jake found himself washed up on an unfamiliar shore. He coughed up salt water and sand, his head spinning. The remnants of his ship were scattered along the beach, but there was no sign of his crew. He rose unsteadily to his feet and surveyed his surroundings. The island was small, covered in dense jungle, with jagged cliffs rising in the distance. A sense of unease settled over him. This place wasn't on any map he knew. Jake stumbled inland, driven by a mix of curiosity and survival instinct. He pushed through the thick foliage, the sounds of the jungle growing louder with every step. Birds screeched in the canopy, and unseen creatures rustled in the underbrush. The air was thick and humid, the smell of rotting vegetation heavy in his nostrils. As he ventured deeper, he came across ancient stone statues covered in moss, their faces twisted in grotesque expressions. Who had carved these? And why? Then he saw it, a massive temple, half hidden by vines and trees. Its stone steps were worn with age, and strange symbols adorned its walls. Jake's heart raced. He had heard legends of a forgotten island, a place of untold riches and dangers. Could this be it? He climbed the steps, his hand resting on the hilt of his knife. As he reached the entrance, he felt a sudden chill, as if the temperature had dropped several degrees. Inside, the temple was dark and foreboding, the air thick with dust and mystery. He took a deep breath and stepped forward, his footsteps echoing off the stone walls. The hallway led to a vast chamber, illuminated by a shaft of light from a crack in the ceiling. In the center of the room stood a massive stone altar, and on it lay a chest, encrusted with jewels. Jake's eyes widened. This was it, the treasure he had been searching for his entire life. He approached the chest cautiously, his heart pounding in his chest. But as he reached for it, the ground beneath him shifted. He leapt back just in time to avoid a trapdoor that opened beneath the altar. Spikes shot up, narrowly missing him. Jake's breath caught in his throat. The legends were true, this place was full of traps. He circled the altar carefully, his eyes scanning for more hidden dangers. He found a narrow passage leading out of the chamber and decided to follow it. The passage twisted and turned, leading him deeper into the temple's depths. The air grew colder, the darkness more oppressive. He could feel eyes watching him from the shadows. Suddenly, he heard a faint whisper, a voice calling his name. He turned, but there was no one there. Panic began to set in, but he forced it down. He couldn't let fear get the best of him now, not when he was so close. The passage ended at another chamber, smaller than the first. In the center was a pedestal, and on it sat a single, glowing crystal. Jake's eyes widened. This was no ordinary treasure, it was a key to unlocking the island's true secrets. He reached out, and as his fingers touched the crystal, a blinding light filled the room. When the light faded, Jake found himself outside the temple, the jungle strangely silent around him. He looked down at the crystal in his hand, its light still pulsing with an otherworldly glow. The island wasn't just a place, it was alive, and it had chosen him. And as he stood there, the realization hit him, his adventure had only just begun.